way there, you know, content. Let me restart this, okay? Sorry. My last semester at a certain college, I was assaulted by a football player for walking where he was trying to drive. Note, he was 325 pounds. I was 120. While unconscious on the ground, I lived a different life. I had met a wonderful young lady. She made my heart skip and my face red. I pursued her for months and dispatched a few jerk boyfriends before I finally won her over. After 2 years, we got married, and almost immediately she bore me a daughter. I had a great job, and my wife didn't have to work outside the house. When my daughter was 2, she, my wife, bore me a son. My son was the joy of my life. I would walk into his room every morning before I left for work and doted on him and my daughter. One day, while sitting on the couch, I noticed that the perspective of the lamp was odd, like inverted. It was still in 3D, but just wrong. It was a square lamp base, red and gold trimmed, on 4 legs and a white square shade. I was I was transfixed. I couldn't look away from it. I stayed up all night staring at it. The next morning, I didn't go to work. Something was just not right about that lamp. I stopped eating. I left the couch only to use the bathroom at first. Soon, I stopped that too, as I wasn't eating or drinking. I stared at that lamp for 3 days before my wife got really worried. It took 3 days. She had someone come and try to talk to me, but by this time, my cognizance, oh my God, hang on, cut it. By this time, my cognizance was breaking up and my wife was freaking out. She took the kids to her mother's house just before I had my amphetamine. Oh my God. She cut it. She took the kids to her mother's house just before I had my amphetamine. The lamp was not real. The house was not real. My wife, my kids. None of that is real. The last 10 years of my life are not real. The lamp started to grow wider and deeper. It was still inverted dimensions. It took up my entire perspective, and all I could see was red. I heard voices, screams, all kinds of weird noises, and I became aware of pain. A ton of pain. The first words I said were, "I'm missing teeth," and opened my eyes. I was laying on my back on the sidewalk, surrounded by people that I didn't know. Lots were freaking out. I was completely confused. At some point, a cop scooped me up, dragged/walked me across the sidewalk and grass, and threw me face down on the back of a cop car. I was still confused. I was taken to the hospital by the cop. Seems he didn't want to wait for the ambulance to arrive, and given some CT scans and crap. I went through about 3 years of horrid depression. I was grieving the loss of my wife and children and dealing with the knowledge that they never existed. I was scared that I was going insane, as I would cry myself to sleep, hoping I would see her in my dreams. I never have, but sometimes I see my son, usually just a glimpse out of my peripheral vision. He is perpetually 5 years old, and I can never hear what he says. Edit. 24 hours after post. Never thought I would read this. Never thought anyone would read this. I changed a line so that it no longer seems that my 2-year-old daughter bore a child. Yeah, that would probably be better. I have never seen Inception or the Star Trek episodes so many had mentioned, but I eventually will. I will not do any AMA. I've had many PMs describing similar experiences, and 3 posters stating such experiences are impossible. I'd say much more research needs to be done on the brain functions. Pre-med students, don't assume you know everything. If you have asked if they can write a book/screenplay/stage play/rage comic, etc., please consider this tale open source and have fun with it. YouTube content. There you go. The mystery of that right there. So we just read a random Reddit post, and that was the solution. Okay, that was the ending. Now we got the start because I didn't do an intro. There's a random intro. Sorry, cut it. There's a random Reddit post here that goes by the name of cut awoken by a lamp. We're going to read it and we're going to read it and uncover its mysteries.